Honoring a hero, Western New York veteran receiving our nation's highest military honor. Hello again, everyone. I'm Casey Bortnick. Thanks for joining us live right here on Spectrum News, the top of 6 o'clock. David Bellavia awarded the Medal of Honor in Washington, D.C. Spectrum News Washington Bureau reporter Jivan Vital was at that ceremony at the White House. He joins us now from outside the White House. The very latest. Jivan?
Casey, good evening. It was an emotional day here in the East Room of the White House, where the ceremonies and the circumstance and the pomp are wrapping up this evening in Washington, but the feeling is not going away for the hundreds of people who came here to D.C. to witness history in person. In the East Room of the White House, history.
David, today we honor your extraordinary courage. We salute your selfless service. And we thank you for carrying on the legacy of American valor that has always made our blessed nation the strongest and mightiest anywhere in the world.
The nation's highest military honor awarded to former Staff Sergeant David Bellavia. The Medal of Honor awarded for bravery, heroism, above and beyond the call of duty. Hundreds of friends, family, well-wishers, and members of the military, including those in Bellavia's unit, in attendance. All of them here for a moment from November of 2004. According to the Pentagon, Staff Sergeant Bellavia was a squad leader in support of Operation Phantom Fury in Fallujah, Iraq, when he and his unit came under heavy fire. The Western New Yorker's heroic actions included not just engaging and neutralizing multiple enemies, but also Bellavia risking his own life for his fellow soldiers. The story and its details are harrowing and miraculous, but also show the incredible strength and bravery that Bellavia displayed to save so many lives that day in Fallujah. The rarest of recognitions given to a man deserving of it.
For all of us, for the nation, actually. Thank you.
And Casey, a lot of the pomp and circumstance may have been finished for tonight, but it will continue tomorrow, in fact, at the Pentagon. That's where the accolades will carry over and ceremonies will continue, and will, of course, continue to be on top of the developments from here in Washington.
All right, a high honor for sure. Pretty cool to watch. Jivan Vital reporting for us from outside the White House tonight. Jivan, thank you. Let's turn things over to the weather now. A beautiful sunny day across western New York. It got sunnier as the day went on. Still a little bit breezy out there if you want to find something wrong with it. Spectrum News meteorologist Kaylee Went joins us now live from the Weather Center. And Kaylee, I'm not complaining. What a nice night it is out there.
I'm not complaining either. It is a little bit breezy, but overall a very, very nice day across western New York. Wanted to give you an update on those wind gusts that are out there now, and still Buffalo and the Falls, even down toward Dunkirk, seeing gusts in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range. If you move a bit further inland, we are seeing wind gusts just a little bit less, but sustained winds right around that ballpark as well. So still going to be feeling that breeze if you're sitting outside enjoying some of that sunshine tonight. Now for this hour, temperatures are sitting in the low 70s for Buffalo, the mid 70s for the Falls and Pendleton. We've got some upper 70s on the map, but also some upper 60s. That lake warming up pretty nicely at 62 degrees today. And it's because of all of that sunshine that we had. As we move throughout the evening, not much going to be taking its place. We'll have a few clouds roll in, but otherwise a quiet, mild evening. For tomorrow, we're looking at overall a pretty nice day, just a couple of spot showers possible, but heat and humidity are going to be returning. We'll talk about how long the heat sticks around coming up in just about 10 minutes in my next Weather on the Ones forecast.
It is primary day here in the Empire State. We're watching all the results closely. Polls are open until 9 tonight, and we're watching several key races, including the one for Niagara Falls mayor. But first, we begin our live coverage with voter turnout so far. Spectrum News reporter Ryan Whalen rejoins us now from the Erie County Board of Elections with more on that. Any uptick, Ryan?
Well, Casey, we're not sure yet. It's an unusual year, at least unusual when we talk in terms of the past. It won't be moving forward. As you'll remember, earlier this year, the state legislature passed an election reform package, which included moving the primary day from September to June to correspond with the federal elections. This is the first year that we've had that, and so everything was accelerated, pushed up from the petition process to, of course, voting. So do people know that they're supposed to come out to vote today? Well, the Board of Elections said that voter turnout was a little bit slow this morning. It was around 4% early on, but they're expecting it to move up as the day goes on, especially now that so many people are getting out of work and heading to their polling places.
Generally, primaries have been low for forever. But we're looking at about a 10% turnout right now if things stay about the same. It was very slow this morning. It's picked up a little bit this afternoon, but we're expecting a low turnout.
And Casey, another factor here, there's no state or federal elections at the top of this ballot. It's what they would call an off year with just county and local races, although some important races like county legislature primaries and Buffalo Common Council. We'll be following all of those throughout the night, and we'll have more for you later. Back to you.
All right, we look forward to it. It could just be people are trying to get used to getting out to the polls in June instead of September. Ryan William will check back in with you in just a little bit. Now to Niagara Falls. The Cataract City will be getting a new mayor for the first time in more than a decade. Spectrum News reporter Andy Young is there tracking that race for us. He joins us now from the Falls, where the Democrat primary for mayor has been hotly contested. Andy?
Yeah, that's right, Casey. It's been a long time since someone other than Paul Deister sat in the mayor's office here at Niagara Falls City Hall. Deister finishing up his third and final term after deciding not to run for re-election this year. That opens the door for someone else to take the mayor's office. On the Democratic side, Seth Piccirillo and Robert Restaino are vying for the nomination here in the primary tonight. Piccirillo has been the city's community development director for the past 7 years. In that role, he's pushed to clean up rundown houses and buildings and tried to hold owners of so-called zombie homes accountable. He's also worked to get people involved in the budget process. As mayor, he wants to change the city's tax system and move it to a land value tax. That would take into account what the piece of land on a property is worth, not the buildings or improvements above it. Piccirillo says that would make it more fair for both homeowners and small businesses while discouraging land speculators from sitting on large pieces of vacant property, especially in downtown Niagara Falls, without developing those assets. His opponent, Robert Restaino, is an attorney and currently serves as the president of the Niagara Falls School Board. He also gained notoriety several years ago, made national headlines when he was removed as a city court judge after jailing 46 people when no one in his courtroom would fess up after a cell phone rang during court. Restaino says he's moved past that situation but does regret that it happened. He's also against changing the tax structure and instead wants to focus on bringing more businesses into Niagara Falls, industry, manufacturing, healthcare, and others, to bring more money into the tax base. Now, it's important to note the city of Niagara Falls is facing a $12 million budget deficit. That's due in large part to the stalemate between the Seneca Nation of Indians, the dispute over casino revenue, money that the city of Niagara Falls counts on for many services like public safety, and that dispute with New York State. Both candidates say it's time for Niagara Falls and the city itself to negotiate directly with the Seneca Nation. There is a candidate for the Republican side of the ballot. That is Glenn Chalokian. He does not face a primary opponent tonight, Casey.
All right, so he gets a bye into November. The winner of this race tonight will face Glenn Chalokian in the November election. Andy Young reporting for us from the Cataract City tonight. Andy will check in with you throughout the night. Again, the polls close at 9 p.m. You'll want to keep it right here on Spectrum News, your election headquarters for the night. Join us on air, online at spectrumlocalnews.com for all your primary results. We'll keep you up to date throughout the nights. Falling debris from a building closed part of Elmwood Avenue in Buffalo Tuesday afternoon. Part of the facade came crashing down on the street and the sidewalk. Building between Forest and Bird houses Half and Half Boutique. And there's no word on what caused the collapse.
Now your William Matar traffic report.
Let's give you a look at some travel times as you're making your way out this evening. 33 east from downtown Buffalo to the 90. You're on time there. It's going to be about a 7-minute drive for you. 190 southbound from the South Grand Island Bridge down to the Skyways on time right now. It's going to be about a 10-minute drive for you there. And 290 east from 990 to the 90s on time is going to be a short 5 minutes for you. If you're heading 190 northbound from the 290 interchange trying to make your way onto Grand Island, your ride looks clear. 190 southbound to the 90 interchange, your ride is on time this evening. And if you're making your way on the 90 westbound, your ride ride looks smooth down past the 400. On the 90 eastbound, we are seeing some stop-and-go traffic from the 190 interchange all the way up past the Kensington. And if you're heading 290 east from 990 to the 90, your ride is on time.
The Buffalo Common Council working to strengthen the fight against ATV use in the city of Buffalo. They passed a resolution Tuesday filed by Lovejoy Councilmember Rich Fontana that would increase penalties and fines up the time the city holds the vehicle when it's taken into their custody, and sends ATVs that are not claimed to an out-of-town auction so they are not sold back to the people who live in Buffalo.
You try to stop them, you put up a badge, you put up a police car, you have a roadblock, they try to go around you. It's ridiculous. It's almost like the old TV shows where they're evading police in the city, and now they just drive right into them, and that's unacceptable. We stand behind our police force, and that's why today we're taking the action, hopefully to start the process to get these penalties raised to help the police fight this issue.
Fontana hopes it could be enacted as soon as the next Common Council meeting.